Hey guys, just wanted to get this video out there to show some of the key differences and changes that Steph White has made to the offense um, this year versus last year. I think she really wants to emphasize the paint being open, having 5-out space, and making sure that driving lanes are clear, players aren't cutting and driving into traffic. And then when the ball goes into the post, we're going to run that split action to get our shooters open, which generates movement within the defense so teams can't load up on post touches, which makes it very difficult to score inside. And then lastly, using step-up screens in transition, which is a great way to get your guards downhill quickly, creates an advantage early in the shot clock without really having to do too much in the half court. So I have a few examples here of some of the things they've been doing in the preseason, which really has me excited about their offense this year. Might be a hot take, but I think the Fever have a chance to finish with one of the best offensive ratings in WNBA history. And it starts on the first play of the preseason. The paint is going to be open. There's not going to be players occupying a block, occupying a dunker sometimes, but most times not. She wants to keep this 5-out spacing, it seems like. A player's going to space that on the perimeter. And they immediately go into this double stagger. Just to get the play started. Kelsey set the first one, AB will set the second, and DB has an option. Is she gonna curl off it? She's gonna use it or she's gonna reject it. In this case, she rejects it. And even if she doesn't use those screens, it's just gonna put that movement, that action is gonna put the Mystics in a bind, in a blender. You get the mismatch with Dolson on Kelsey, and they can just kind of flow out of it. See Sid Colson goes into a ball screen, they get the swing and get AB in the corner three. So that simple action just kind of just allows them in the initial space and kind of just allows them to really just attack the defense how they want to. Just another play just later in the corner where again, Steph White wants to emphasize this 5-out, paint open, maximize spacing type of scheme, where players are not sitting on the block. You'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 players all spaced out to the perimeter, and this just allows cutters to cut freely, not having to worry about cutting into traffic. Driving lanes are going to be open. They flow right into a dribble handoff here with Lexi, and you'll see Lucy with that peak. Kelsey spaces back out to the corner, which is huge. Lucy peeks at the ball, and then Sophie just backdoor hers, and they get a layup. So keeping that spacing, Kelsey does a good job of cutting all the way to the corner, not really staying, hanging out by the basket, cut through, re-space out to the corner, and they're able to get a Sophie backdoor for a layup. And it doesn't have to be, a very complicated or intricate play. If you have the right spacing principles, which Steph White is really trying to emphasize, you can really just run, a simple high ball screen with Tasha Howard, setting a screen up top here for Caitlin to get downhill with spacers around the perimeter. You'll see Aaliyah clear out all the way to the corner here to clear that paint. And it just gives Caitlin so much room to operate. Aaliyah is not on the block, but she's in the corner, which is really the key to this play, and the paint is wide open. And last year there were times where you would see Caitlin drive, and the help defense was right there in her face because players were on the block, not giving her driving room. So this is really a real big difference here with Steph White's philosophy on how they want to operate. Players are spaced out, paint is open, and Caitlin's able to get all the way downhill for a layup. Again, another thing Steph White wants to emphasize this year, and something that she's added to the offense, is the post split action. Made famous by the Warriors. Ball goes into Draymond in the post, and whoever's on that side, we're going to screen for a shooter, whether that's Clay back in the day, or Curry. We're going to run this post split action, and it just puts the defense in a bind. The perimeter defenders have to worry about something. They can't lock in, key into the post touch. Natasha Howard's able to drive baseline here and kick it to Kelsey's able to kick it to Sophie for an open three. Last year it wasn't like that. As you can see, AB gets the ball in the post and there's no movement. Static on the perimeter. The defense is able to load up and lock into AB. All eyes are on her. It's just very difficult to score when that's the case. Same thing here. All eyes are on her. As he's able to dig down and just makes this post isolation is very difficult. And I think that's something Steph White wanted to, change coming into this year is like if we're gonna throw the ball into the post, we're gonna have some type of movement, which causes the help defense to be late. And Kelsey's able to find Sophie for open wing three. She just misses. Again, just another quick example of them going to a post split. Unfortunately, Natasha Howard um, misses Caitlin here, but you can just see like how just wide open this is. Anytime you have movement on the perimeter when the ball's inside, you'll get open clean looks. Caitlin comes off free here. Would have been a nice little three to have, but again, new team, still gelling together, still chemistry. So, I'm not worried about Flash making that pass to Caitlin in the corner. And the last thing I want to touch on is the use of step up screens in transition. Um, it's my favorite action in basketball for a reason. If ran correctly, it's virtually unstoppable. You'll see AB kind of jog down the court here and then immediately flip her hips to set a step up screen for Sid Colson. Sid has a two-way go. She can go right, she can go left. Chooses to drive in the middle of the paint here, draws three defenders and is able to get the kick out to Bonner. Bonner makes the unselfish one more pass to Sophie, and they're able to get a great look in early offense with barely any time coming off the shot clock. The reason this is my favorite action in basketball is because when you run it, the defense is usually going to be blind to it. You'll see Natasha Howard set this screen in the backcourt for Caitlin, and the defender is totally blind. Set the screen in the backcourt, Caitlin's able to get full speed downhill, and there's already an advantage created. Miss layup here, miss bunny here, but a lot of these plays I'm showing to you, it's really process over results. They've generated a lot of great looks early in the shot clock, and this is one of the actions that is really going to help them do that. Because most of the time when you run it, the defense isn't going to see it's coming. So, just great stuff from Steph White.